This is a smelt, Osmeridae. It's in the family Osmeridae, which is a mostly marine family. There are freshwater versions like this. It's the only member of its family in Lake Champlain. As you can see, it's a very slender, fusiform, that is round-shaped fish, terminal to almost superior mouth. Key characteristics other than being very silvery: single dorsal fin and that adipose fin again. Completely unrelated to the Salmonidae that have adipose fins, completely unrelated to trout perch. These are independent evolutions, convergent evolution of an adipose fin. It's a cold water fish. It lives below the thermocline, and it is a planktivore. So if you look at its mouth, you would suspect that this fish is going to be eating something like other fish. It's got a bunch of teeth, small and sharp. It's got teeth on the tongue, but in fact it's using those to eat plankton. And it's also a cannibal. It will eat the larva of its own species when it's a year older. We caught it on the bottom in a bottom trawl during the day, where it's hiding from predators. It will vertically migrate during the night when the predators can't see it silhouetted against the sunlight, and it will forage around the thermocline for plankton, other smelt and other small organisms like mysis, for example. It's commercially fished in some areas, but it's most popular for anglers who like getting it through the ice. This is a fish that in the Great Lakes, where it's an invader, it's a Potamodromous or Potadromous fish, meaning it lives its adult life in freshwater and it goes up streams to spawn. And it's a very popular fishery in the Finger Lakes and the Great Lakes. People go into the streams when great schools of these fish go upstream to spawn, and they literally just dip them out of the streams. In Lake Champlain, this is actually a Lacustrine spawner. They spawn out in the main lake in deep water. They'll spawn in April, they'll hatch about a month later, and live the rest of their lives. You know, they live normally 7 or 8 years max. They don't get much bigger than this normally. They get about 7 inches. But in many lakes in Maine and in Lake Champlain, there are often 2 size races, either a dwarf and a normal, or a normal and a giant. In Lake Champlain, there used to be a normal race and a giant race, where the giants would be, by historical records, about half a pound, and they'd be 12 to 14 inches long, which is extraordinary for a smelt. That race has slowly disappeared since the 1900s, such that it used to be most of the smelt, then it was about half the smelt, and now we don't see them anymore. Why that's occurred, we don't know. So this is rainbow smelt, Osmeridae.